This is a word we don't hear. You have a time as an athlete that you have your beginning stage, and then you have your prime, and then you have your post. Most people are well out of their prime trying to do something that they could have done in their prime. So for the writers, I want you to write this. Don't wish for it. Plan for it. Build for it. Work for it. That is a model that as we move forward with basic financial steps, because your job is only going to give you so much. We're used to working for money, but most people have never experienced money working for them. I'll say it again. We're used to working for money. So, hey, I got 20 hours overtime. But that's not money working for you. So I want to share with you, don't wish for it. Plan for it. Build for it. Work for it. What does that mean? Creating sustainable resources that turns into perpetual wealth. Why? Invest in you. You have an innate ability that God has given you that many times has never been discovered. This is why I say religion. This is why I say denomination. This is why I say tradition keeps people away really from the presence of God. Because God says, for God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. And religion, denomination, and tradition teaches us to follow rituals that don't necessarily introduce us to the spirituality of God. So, let's say we're going to live to 80. Now, I'm going to tell you a brief story about a lady that I admired her husband for a great number of years, and he's passed away here recently. She's 75. They have a beautiful home. They have, a lovely driveway. And they have probably over $600,000 worth of artifacts in that house. But guess what the issue is? She has no sustainable income. None. So I'm saying to you, and to those of you that are under 40, in your 20s and in your teens, those of you that are 45 and 50 and above, what's going to sustain you? Because what people want to do is they want to run and get my ideas, want to run out, try to make money, but they're not balanced. So we want to teach a balanced way of investing in you. Most of what we're doing now is not who we really are. We're really trying to discover what our intent and purpose is in nature and spiritual. So when I talked to her, and she said, I don't even have money to get the car out of the shop. She's 75. Her husband hadn't been deceased 30 days. Which says what? There's no savings. Which says what? Very probably small insurance policy. Which says what? I have stuff paid for, but I don't have anything to live with. I want you all to think, and I'm really, males, I want to talk to you because you've got to learn to build something. It doesn't matter if you're not with the mother of your children. Females, I understand y'all want to respect men and this, and this, but you all don't know in the Bible it talks about your value and your purpose. Because women always are submitting to men, but men are not always submitting to God. And most of the time, right now in our economical climate, women have more than men. Yeah, I mean, I like that, but just look it up. Women have more than men. But most of the time, women are not guided with their intellect intelligence. They're guided with their emotions. And a man can come along, and there's this one guy who used to be on social media. I think he's still out there. And I quit listening to him because he said, whatever a woman has, she's supposed to go take it to a man. No, 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 no. 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 If he can't take care of you, then he is not for you. People don't understand what the term husband is. A husband is a provider. Biblically, women were not designed to work. Gotta turn the mic off.
I'm sorry. It just jumped out. Did you feel that too? Did you feel it now? I did feel it. Did you feel it? All the women, we not feeling it. We walking out, y'all.
Well, that's a good point. Because that was a good point, because when I talk to young men and they come and ask, hey, mentor me, and I say to them, so what happens if you marry this beautiful young lady? She has a wonderful job, and she comes home in the third week of marriage and says she quit. And out of 35 young men, 35 of them said, I'll take her back home to her mother. Then I said, then you all are not prepared for marriage. That's just the truth. As a husband, that were given to us biblically, a man is a provider. That's a husband. If he has nothing, I tell women, don't have a house and let a man move in. Now, I know y'all pissed off, but it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. So you might feel like I'm pissing on you right now. That's why I didn't do this in the church. You should, if you're not, you can build together. But women tend to have, and I know the theory, well, they won't let us have it. Now, here's the thing I'm going to tell to the people, because I really don't want to start the first show off bad. I really want to tell the people, I'm so sick and tired of people saying they won't let us have. If you go get your right credentials, you don't need them. You just need customers. And you can build for yourself. The problem is you don't want to be seen small. You don't want to be seen small. So you go do big things. And so the reason I tell people this, male or female, when someone comes into something, it is not an equal partnership. And really there is no equal partnership. But then there's a thing that is making it right. I've told people personally, if he moves into your house, you need to know the equity in your house. And he needs to give you like $40,000, $50,000 to be a partner in your house. Why? If y'all get together and get a divorce, you're going to have to buy him out. And if you done put him out, you sure want to give him $60,000, $70,000? See, no, let me make it plain. This is why I'm not doing it under the House of Reconciliations. Mothers have spoiled sons. Grandmothers have spoiled sons. We thank God for everything that y'all have done, and you've done great. Young boys have to be taught how to be men. They have to have great uncles and men around them. Because we have a whole lot of young guys that will sit in the car and let a woman pump gas. That not the air I do. How many times have you pulled up to the gas station and the female outside pumping the gas and the male sitting in the car? What the hell is going on? What? Spoiled. Because they saw their mother do it. They saw their grandmother do it. And so a pattern has been set that's not realistic. People always want to talk about best birth control. You know what the best birth control is? You working. And if you ain't got enough to eat for 2, why would you want to make 3? And if you ain't got enough to eat for 3, why you want to make 4? And if you don't have enough, because now this is going to be tough. Every household should be ran off of one income. Anybody want to go with me on that? Amen. I'm going to leave that one alone. Okay. We'll talk about that one. Y'all ain't ready for that one. Every household ought to be ran on one income. Let's say you live to be 80. Here's what I want to talk about invest in you. The majority of the people spend no time becoming credible. What does that mean? It takes 4 years to get a bachelor's degree. In some instances, it takes 3.5. You know how much that is a percentage out of your life? 0.05% of your life. Why wouldn't you want to invest in you and get credentials? Some level of certification. Why? Oh, 0.05% to get a bachelor's degree. And people are working and they're running around, they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And what they're doing is they're really running away from setting up their life. Because credentials, certifications will carry you when you can't carry you, and it won't let you fall beneath certain pay scales. There is a time that you pay for education, and there is a time that education pays you back. 0.05% of your life, 4 years, sometimes depends on how smart you are, you can get it in 3.5 to get a bachelor's degree that you won't ever have to get again. Remember I told you that? I said when you finish, you won't have to go back and get it. You can add to it, but nobody can subtract from it. Now listen to this, 6 years to get a bachelor's degree plus a master's degree. Now mind you, we're basing this on 80 years of life. It's only 7.5% of your life. And how many times have you said, I don't have time? Oh, I'm pregnant. I gotta work. 7.5% of your life if the average person is based on to live to 80 years. To get something and to get a master's degree that you don't ever have to go back to school again. You know why most people don't invest in themselves? Because they don't believe in themselves. And they didn't come from a family where family believed in structure. But if you look at society, these are the people that are able to afford $2,000 and $3,000 a month apartments and able to travel from city to city to pick up a job. And then you have those that live in the city, they're struggling to pay $1,000 a month for an apartment. And a low-income apartment now is about $1,000 a month. But we can look like millionaires, we can talk like millionaires, but we aren't millionaires, and we don't live like me. 6 years to get a bachelor's degree is 7.5% of your life. So, but what type of investment do you make? There's a young guy right now in a basketball league that threw away $40 million. And now probably going to be suspended for a whole year and may not get a contract again. Why would you let your emotions and your so-called friends, same person that got kicked out of the stadium, same person that took your first video, same person that took this video. See, really, do you know what friends are? There are people who protect you. And they protect you sometime from you. That's like having a friend and you rob a bank. Oh, who robbed the bank? Willie? He driving that car. Yeah, I know the tag number. His mama address is 1303 West Broad Street, USA. Is that a friend? Is that a friend? But every time you get in trouble, you have a friend. Because see, here's the thing we don't see. Because most people really didn't come from a lot in their life. So today makes you blind to your future. $15, $25, $30 an hour make you blind to $65, $85, $95 an hour. So you only look at sports. You never tap into your mind. I think the average lifespan of an NFL player is 3.5 years.
Career? Yeah.
Career? Yeah, 3.5 years. But most of them quit school to go play. So 8 years to get a master's degree plus a postmaster's degree is only 10% of your life. 8 years. So most of everybody, except for you, are at a point that I'm saying to you, and I'm saying to the audience, where are you going to be in the next 5, 7 years? When your job phases out, moves out of town, closes down the branch, the plant's gone, do you have the skill set to sustain you? Do you have the skill set to sustain you? So here's some things. Have you really taken a look at your future? What career path have you chosen? And you have to consider your health. Everybody needs insurance. Going to the hospital is not cheap. Everybody needs good insurance. So, have you really taken a look at your future? Because everybody wants me to teach you about basic financial steps. That is the steps to your future. Money today means broke tomorrow. Money planted today means opportunity for tomorrow. So just to have money and no plan and path forward? So let's look at it this way. This is critical for your financial stability. So one of the things we're going to briefly talk about is financial restoration. Now here are 3 words I want you to write down. And this comes out, this is biblical here, 1 Samuel 30 and 8 in the New Living Translation and the New King James Version. Here's what you have to do. And we hear it in church about redeem and this and that and the other and all of that. But here's the thing you got to do. You know what you got to do before you redeem? You got to pursue. People preach to you this, oh, it's going to happen, God's going to do this. Shut up. You first have to pursue. Now here's the part. This is why a certain group wind up being in the wilderness for 40 years. Okay? Do you all know that there's this thing called in the biblical realm, for we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and wickedness. And you know why that's there? It's because when you succeed, you open the door for your children and your grandchildren. They look at auntie. And they're like, man, my aunt did it. And the rest of them, shoot, they over there with no teeth. I had a friend that hit me up. He finally got him some teeth. He told me, I can't talk to you right now because I had some dental work. You wait till you're 66, 69 years old until you finally get enough or whatever to get you some teeth. I want you to send me a picture of you smiling. But do you see what I'm saying? So before they can tell you you're going to get all this and God's going to do all this and da 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 da, you have to pursue. But it's hard to pursue if you don't see value.
It's true.
Nobody's just going to come give you, I know you done had a hard time, sure. I'm here, I'm going to give you this right here. Your whole life, my whole life, you told Harpo to beat me. My whole life I've struggled. No. The first thing you have to do, invest in yourself, is to pursue. What is it that was your dreams? What was it that you were hindered from accomplishing? Early pregnancy, divorce in the home, mother, father split up. We know about, all the craziness and, love my brother, but, Jesus, on the wrong day, it's the wrong time and the wrong place. What about having a home and having a father, but the father's not a father in the home? So there's a lot of stumbling blocks that happen. You can't overtake, you can't pursue if you're always looking back. And ask me why that's critical in finances. Because you can't plant future seeds. You can't plant for your future because we're still stumbling in our past. And so we feel down about ourselves, so then we take things to try to make ourselves feel better. So number one thing that we have to do in investing in ourselves is pursue. People can encourage you, but none of them can cross the finish line for you. Many people can encourage you and pat you on the back, but they can't take that exam for you. And so, if the people that are encouraging me can't take the exam, then why let the people who've done nothing for me stop me from accomplishing something for myself? And one of the greatest things you can accomplish for yourself is financial sustainability that turns into perpetual wealth. You don't want to be 75 and have a house full of stuff and can't even get your car out of the shop. Can't pay your light bill. That's stuff that should happen when you're young and foolish and stupid. Moving back home with mama. Y'all make my program not good with that, boy. I just...
No, we're thinking.
Thinking, okay. Okay. So, you got to pursue. That means you got to want it. You have to rebirth that hunger. As I would say, that fire in your belly has to be created. Nobody's coming to give it to you. It has to be an awakening within you to pursue your dreams, to discover your innate inheritance, and to merge that with your spiritual birthright. And now you become a force multiplier. Now you have enough in you from the natural standpoint, and you have guidance from God. Now, number two, you can overtake. There is something and somebody in your life that you're going to have to overtake. Number three is recover all. There are things that happen in your childhood, things that happen in your youth, things that happened in your 20s, and people got damaged and they got scarred. We can't fix the scars and the damage, but what we can do is recover all. You let them know this is a part of your inheritance. You've seen the bad side, now we need to work on the good side. I'm going to give you what should we be doing right now. We're headed to where they said we should hit skid row in our financial recession in the middle of the summer. So it's going to be June and July and August where it's going to be rough. Gas right now is low, but it's going to shoot up probably starting Memorial Day. Food is already high. You know, you can blow a 20, get two things, and you get pennies back. Here's what I recommend everybody doing. Now is the time to start building an emergency fund. An emergency fund so when things are high and above what they normally are, you have something to go to. Because I've seen so many cars on the side of the road. So we really should get our cars checked out. We should plan ahead. We shouldn't wait till something happens. We need to make sure we're positioned so it doesn't happen. Because a record, I don't know, you can get a record now under $100. You can't get a record for it. They don't pick you up for $30 no more.
You may try $400.
Oh, that card be there. I tell them I'll be back. So everybody needs to start building an emergency fund planning now. Do y'all want to take about 6 minutes and go over this other part that will help us? So somebody would ask me, would teach me the formulas and all of that, but there's no need in teaching you, and there are things that keep messing up your money. Here's number one, your attitude about yourself, others, and your view on life. I'll say it again. What's messing up your money? Attitude, number one, about yourself, others, and your view on life. Most people don't work a job that helps build their future. They work a job to maintain their level of struggle. Does that make sense? Just enough to survive, which means you will always struggle. Nothing that will cause you to live. So I'm the type of person that want to teach you how to live. I don't like the cliches, the struggle is real. No, the choices are bad. No, I grew up, you might know a little bit about it. Y'all remember the hot eye? The hot eye. Your parents would put it in the car, and you go somewhere and they plug it in, and it pops up as a hot eye. It'd be fine. It don't have no adjustment for the temperature. It just be on high all the time. They call it that. Okay, there's some people that be taking pictures. Look at the young thing, like, well, you don't know nothing about that, man.
They young.
They okay.
Y'all
Hot eye.
know.
Shoot, you travel. Your mama have eggs and bacon and everything else in the car, and put it on ice. And then put it on a hot eye. It's about that big. And put that pan on it. You can cook a whole meal with that hot eye.
Same thing as a hot plate.
She said, okay, whatever.
So your attitude, and most people have not grown from the attitude that's hurt them to the situation that broke them. Number two, behavior. Behavior will always bring new issues, and it feeds off of negativity. Most people are not bad. And most of the time when people are responding to something present, it's not even emotions. They have been traumatized by their past. and they never express themselves. So they go from a hot 0 to a 1,000. Because as a child, he or she couldn't say anything. They didn't have no rights. So they suppressed everything. Now, as an adult,
They got freedom.
no one thing go a little bit wrong, they finna bust you upside your head with a baseball bat. Over that you move the car. Am I right, sir? It has nothing to do with you moving the car. But it sparked something that was never settled in them. You gonna treat me like that? I don't believe behavior will always bring new issues, and it feeds from negativity. And I'm gonna ask y'all something, because y'all always beat me up on this. Just tell me, how far have feelings and emotions gotten people? Many of them have what? Domestic violence charges on them? Road rage? Choking somebody in the... How you choke somebody in their own car? Fighting in the front yard? We're supposed to be cooking fish and grits. We out here knocking people out. Behaviors come from unresolved issues. Number 3, real quick. I said this a little bit on Sunday, but I'm going to give you a new piece of it. Your focus is your equilibrium to life. When you're focused, it balances you. Most people can pass and do anything they want to. The problem is they're not focused. If you're not focused, you can't study. If you're not focused, you lose value. If you're not focused, you don't understand. If you're not focused, you can't pay attention. And so focus has to be the equilibrium to life. So my focus keeps me balanced. So I'm able to understand my values and what it is that's important. My feelings will cause me to walk out the door and quit. But my focus becomes my equilibrium. Number 4, and we're going to close. Discipline is what accomplishes goals, dreams, visions, financial stability, and financial freedom. I'll say discipline again. Discipline is what accomplishes goals, dreams. There's some people, their dream is to have a nice little garden in their backyard. But they can't do it if you're not disciplined. What's your vision? If you don't have a vision, you have until July, first Sunday in July. What's your vision? What's your vision? Because see, vision isn't always dealing with drama. Vision isn't always dealing with my broken brother, my broken sister. Vision isn't always dealing with problems. That's struggle and survival. Vision is, what am I going to build? What am I going to accomplish? Vision isn't, man, I just paid, I think I might have all my bills paid for me. You think you might have all your bills paid for you. You're going to go to church and just run up and down the aisle, spitting and popping, because you think you might have all your bills paid for me. That's the Bible. Anxiety is, now I'm just going to hit, now this is a little bit of church. Anxiety is when you pray and you ain't seen nothing, now you worry. When you pray to God, you don't need to repeat what you prayed. You just need to prepare yourself and position yourself for it to happen. And if you say, Lord, it's your will. Like we've talked about, 6-figure salaries don't come until, in the second quarter. That's when they put them on the books, because everybody's trying to get investors' money. In the first 2 quarters, they're trying to recover. So you can't think God doesn't hear you. There's a waiting period for the seed to be planted. You don't want the seed planted. You just want to get it done. But see, what you're going to do has no stability, has no infrastructure, has no roots. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so people are surviving. That means they're struggling. Now here's the problem with that. Why come to Christ? And I know this is, but I just got to say this and still struggle. When he says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And in the same text he says, and the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Well, if I'm going to try to do right, why am I still poor? I'm not using the creativity of God. And so people prophesy to people about all the stuff that's going to happen. And this, the Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. If I walk uprightly and keep myself before God, something is going to develop. Something is going to be pursued. Something is going to be overtaken. Because the wealthy cannot sustain what they have because they have no roots. And if your roots are in God. So sustainability with money has to be, there's a lot of people that's got money. But these are the same people trying to move to Mars to get away from God. Because of climate change. Hello? They're like, well, that planet down there, this planet here is going to blow up. Let's try to find another planet that we can live on. And I can take my money with me. Why do you think all this currency, cryptocurrency comes about? So they don't have to deal with paper. As the Indians used to say, you want my earth that I can feel and that has trees and grow plants, for paper that I can stick a match to and it'll burn. That's what the Indians said when somebody tried to offer them money for their land. One match will burn up that dollar. And I've got something that can produce for me. You have to see yourself as a producer. Did I help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, now. My exit road is supposed to be excited. I don't know how excited this is gonna sound. This is like a funeral here. Y'all got to come back third Wednesday in June with a little bit more excitement. God bless you.